Hello and welcome. My name is Björn Hennig from Avialytics Aviation Analytics. And in this screencast, I'm going to give you a quick overview of the ASL Belgium crew catering application, which enables the crews from ASL Belgium to select their own individual food items from a menu whenever this is provided by a catering company. But before we look into the app itself, let's have a look at the flight information portal from ASL Belgium, with the catering information attached to it. In this portal, we see all the flights which are operated by ASL Belgium, along with a certain catering status. So if we look at the first flight here, from Liège to London Stansted, it shows that there is unfortunately no catering, and that's because either the flight is too short or the crew duty time is not long enough to allow for catering. If we go a little bit further down, we see this flight here from Liège to Munich, and here we see that there is catering available. And actually, because we have those dark spoon and fork symbols, it means that's individual catering, so the crew member on this flight are able to select the food items they would like to have to eat for this flight. If we scroll down a little bit further, go down here, we see a bunch of flights where there is catering available, individual catering, also here, for example, from Helsinki. But we also see the food symbol here, which is not dark, but just light gray. That means there's actually catering available for this flight as well. However, those caterer at this airports don't allow for individual selection, so there will be a standard catering provided to the crews. Now let's go one step further. As a crew member, you've been equipped with an app, a catering app by ASL Belgium, in which you have to sign in, and you actually have to sign in there only once. It then remembers your user and password. And if you go into the app, you'll see all the future flights which you are supposed to operate and for which catering is available. So you do not see all the flights, you just see the flights where you are able to select your individual catering. You also see some historic flights which you performed earlier, and you can still check what was catered there and what you ordered there. So if you look at the flights here, we see that this crew member has two flights, one in January 15th and one January 13th, and for the flight on January 15th, he still has 2 days left to do a catering. He actually already did a catering, which we can see here. So the first green check mark means that the crew member selected individual catering. The second check mark means that this selection was submitted to the server and was accepted by the server. So having two check marks means that I'm actually good and set. Another option is this black dot with a white dot in it. That means that this flight is available for catering, but there hasn't been any catering assigned to this flight yet, so the crew member would be able to select catering for this flight. It's important to know that 4 days prior to scheduled time of departure, the system will assign an automated catering to a crew member just to make sure that he doesn't go hungry, and even if he doesn't select his own choices, he still will receive some catering. Now let's drill into this catering for this flight. If you go in there, you see a list of what has been catered for you, either if you did it yourself, what you selected, or what the system has selected for you. If you want to edit your choice, you click on that, and now you are presented with the menu which is available for this particular flight. So it might be, depending on the aircraft you're operating, that there's a different menu. So, and you can scroll through here and you see all the different food choices which are available and selectable for you. You actually can use a setting here in order to declutter the information, for example, by not displaying the images. And you can also select certain preferences you have, like you don't want any wheat included, you want to have display on the descriptions, vegetarian options, and so on. So that's something you can use to set up and really to filter through the menu. If I close this here, I just got rid of the pictures at this stage. It shows me everything that has already been selected, so I see all the selections which were made. In this case, the crew members did the selection themselves, so they're probably fine with that and just want to maybe do some adjustment. If the system did a selection, you might also want to simply clear out all of the selection by pressing this clear button. It clears out all of the selection, and at this stage there's really nothing, no catering selected for you. However, you have a certain budget for your catering, and this is displayed here. So in this case, for this flight, there are 1,000 points available for you for catering. And if you scroll down here, we see there are also some additional limitations. For example, for catering, you have to select one main course. That's also because with this main course, there comes a spoon and the other additional items for the catering. So you basically cannot just have some side dishes, but in this flight, you have to select a specific main course. So let's select the Caesar salad here. And the Caesar salad takes off 444 points from my budget, leaving me with 556 points to spend on any other items. So I can, for example, select the tomato soup, which takes some points off, and it's always good to have some sandwiches. And actually, I really love the dessert. The Black Forest cake is pretty great. And I want a fruit salad too. Oops. Now, what happened? I cannot select anything anymore. And that's pretty easy because I'm already at the maximum of my points. So as soon as I reach the maximum of my points, unfortunately, I'm not able to select anything else. However, if I, for example, decide, well, the pizza snack, maybe I do not really need this, take this off, and now this leaves room for some additional fruit yogurt and maybe something else. I could do some changes here. So eventually I'm able to do various selection in order to decide exactly what I want to have and what's basically best for me for having to eat. If I do that, I press apply, and now my choices are in the system. I get an overview here, and I go back. We see here the symbol. It means that's already synchronized with the server. You see the synchronization information down here. This was already synchronized, confirmed by the server, so this information already went to the server, and hopefully, if nothing goes wrong in the back end, I will actually receive exactly what I just ordered. The app is available offline, so I'm okay if I want to do my selections whenever I'm traveling or when I'm not online. However, I have to keep in mind that there are certain limitations. So if I do the selection here, if I wouldn't be offline and then stay offline for 3 days, it would actually be too late for me to send this order to the system. So whenever I'm online, the system will synchronize in the background. I can also use this button here to manually synchronize. And down here, I can see the synchronization stage. And again, for this flight, I still have 17 days left. So if I go into this flight, I see there's not yet any automated selection done. I could do a selection myself if I want to. I don't have to do that now, but I can do it anytime. I just have to keep in mind that 4 days prior to scheduled time of departure, the system will do this selection for me. I can influence whatever is selected by going into my defaults. And within the defaults, I can really set up a certain default priorities. So in this case, my biggest priority whenever there's breakfast, I want to have breakfast with egg. Then on a long haul, I want a main course. Next selection would be a healthy breakfast. So what happens in the back end, if you do your own defaults, the system will check with your defaults and tries to fill in your defaults top down. So in this case, if there would be breakfast available for this crew member, breakfast would be the first choice. And then we look further down. Maybe it's not a long haul flight, so we will go further. Then we have a healthy breakfast, so this person probably gets 2 breakfasts available, and so on. So you really can do a selection, set things up in the way you prefer them for the automated selection. However, the best way is always go to your flights, take a look at what is ordered for you, or do your selection yourself. Okay, that was just a quick overview. I hope you enjoyed it and you especially enjoy the food if you receive it on the flight. And yeah, there will be some additional screencast coming up later on, going into more details. But for now, I thank you for your interest, and if there's any question, please send us a question and shoot me an email, and we will try to attend to them. Other than that, happy flyings, happy landings, and good day.